Katrina Jane Demaranin, and you're watching PhilippineNews.com.
Into the community. I'd be more than willing to do something in that arena. You know, half our students graduate with no debt at all. And those who graduate with debt, on average, it's about $20,000 for the 4 years. And that's a lot of money, but there are low interest loans and other things to accommodate that. And I always compare it to a new car. You know, when you buy a new car, let's say you buy a car for $20,000, you drive it off the lot, it's immediately now worth 10. You get a college education, you have $20,000 left to help pay for it. You drive it off the lot, and the value is only going to go up. So it's a very different kind of debt to have. But again, what we build into our financial models is that every student is responsible for covering $9,000 of their total expenses. So that's not just tuition, but also housing and eating and books and stuff. And that can be a combination of scholarship, work study, you name it, but they've got to put $9,000 a year into it, and we'll work around the rest. And again, as I said, anyone from a family that makes less than $80K a year, $80,000 a year, pays no tuition. So now we're talking books and housing and food. Another thing we're working on, our campuses are located in some of the more expensive parts of the state. Most of our campuses are, is looking on some ways that we can expand our own housing options for students. In some instances, actually building housing, apartments and the like for grad students. So we're gonna tackle it from a number of different angles. But I think your point about a communications push about the UC into the community right around application time would be a great idea. Perhaps what we are, and you would know better than I do, but perhaps what we are seeing is now what has happened with large immigrant communities in the past, where as you get into the first generation that actually grows up in the United States, second generation, they become more and more integrated and more you start seeing what I would think of as like the social mobility, and social mobility in the United States. The one thing that it is associated with is getting a higher education. We find, for example, that our students who are first generation students, within 5 years of graduating from college, are making more than their entire family's combined incomes. I mean, so they gained admission, they do well, they graduate, and they're getting good jobs. And they may not get that great job, number one, you know, right out of school, but give them a year or two, and the job market, you all know the job, you don't have to, you know, you all have jobs. And they're doing very well. So the stakes are very, very high, and I would say, particularly for the Latino community, but also for all of the other communities represented around the table, Sandy.